Hello guys and ghouls, and welcome back to my channel. It's Nora Sims here if you are new. It is officially the 1st of October and we are entering
spooky season.
And I have a whole host of spooky builds for us. So let's just get into the first one. Appropriately, I'm wearing my pumpkin t-shirt because this build is very, very pumpkin-y. It is basically a witch's cottage, or really what I was going for is a potion master's kind of cottage. Yeah, so it's quite a small build, and really the focus of this one is more so on the exterior of the build, where I have this cauldron area and some like gardening things. So kind of the idea is that she is like a herbalist, you know, and she has this garden, she grows all her ingredients, she makes potions, maybe she sells natural remedies to the locals. I am of course building in Glimmerbrook for this build, very appropriate. And I do use a lot of Realm of Magic items, but I do use from all the packs in this build. Like, I will try to limit packs sometime again, but I live for using all these packs. I mean, yeah, it's the way it is. So I tried doing some like diagonal stuff with this build, and you can see my struggle on screen right here. It was a struggle. I don't usually mess with diagonals because they mess with you. You mess with diagonals, they mess right back with you. But I tried to put in a sneaky little diagonal into this build, and I was actually building like off camera there. Oh, I can't even remember what I was building. Just kind of practice building, and I put a diagonal in. And I was like, look at me with my diagonals. I am just learning. I've been watching a lot of Sims YouTube. I've been checking out a lot of smaller simmers because, you know, I want to support. People support me, I want to give support back, and I'm just getting so inspired. Like, you learn a lot from watching the big SimTubers, but watching the smaller simmers, you just find stuff that you would not have even realized were even possibilities. And I'm actually like so inspired to use the tool mod after watching some of Asperry Games videos, because it was very intimidating for me. Like, I've actually had the tool mod in my game for about 2 months maybe now, and I haven't actually used it, so yeah, it's been a bit daunting for me, but I think I'm gonna give it a go. I don't have anything particularly in mind for it, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be something that I can cook up. So I really enjoyed, as you can see, using these Realm of Magic windows in this build. I do love the stained glass windows, and then I made use of the fact that we got that amazing window update, because those windows are just so perfect to like join together. So yeah, I was very excited about that. I was trying to make a sheltered kind of area over here, and you can see it just was not going in my favor at all. I just tried like everything. I was gonna take this footage out, but I was like, nah, you guys can see me struggle, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, it was a struggle. I was on the struggle bus. Diagonals are one thing, but diagonal roofing is a whole other thing. So I'm so happy with what I ended up with, and as I said, the exterior of this build is really the main like showpiece, if you will, of this build. I am in love with the garden. So this cauldron area is the main attraction to this cottage. So it's kind of foresty, very, very autumnal. Oranges, reds, yellows in this garden area is what I was going for. I just used a lot of the, I think it's a mixture of get together and romantic garden stuff to create this little kind of alcove area, I suppose. Like, the cauldron's kind of hidden away, and I loved using the combination of the two terrain paints here. I was really feeling this build. I'm actually really proud of it. And then I just was putting in like basically a mini forest, you know, because why not? It matches in with the theme of Glimmerbrook quite well anyway, so it's quite good. I love it. I don't think the witch that lives in this house is like a bad, evil witch, you know. I think she's a good witch. As I said, I think she helps the community. She makes like herbal remedies to, you know, treat her friends, her neighbours, whatever it is. I actually might even do a Create a Sim video making the character I have in mind for this. I have done Create a Sim videos in the past, but it's definitely not my forte. I do enjoy Create a Sim for myself, but I don't love sharing it because I'm not like, I don't know, I feel like I'm okay, but then you see people who are really good at Create a Sim and you're like, oh, my Sims are ugly. But anyway, yeah, I might do that because, well, obviously, in case you didn't know, because I don't mention it in like every video I do, but I'm working on a save file, and basically for this spooky season videos, pretty much everything I'm doing is for the save file. So I decided for the month of October I will do my builds for Glimmerbrook and Forgotten Hollow that tie in with that. I also have an idea for a build in Granite Falls actually that ties in with the spooky season. Yeah, I just used the hell out of these leaf piles. That was basically my source of colour inspiration for this build. But again, for the save file, I am creating Sims for all the builds, but I think what I might do is like 2 separate save files. So one that has just mainly builds and maybe a few families, and then one that's like jam-packed with families, because, you know, in your settings, well, maybe, I don't know if you've played around with it much, but there's like max amount of controlled Sims, and it's set to 80 automatically, and then you can put it up to, I think, 100, 150, no, 150, 200, and then unlimited. So it basically says that I think 150 is what they call the max recommended, and then like when you go above that, it basically gives you a warning saying that depending on your computer there could be like crashes, glitches, that kind of thing. Now I don't have a supercomputer, but I don't even have a computer. I have a gaming laptop, which, I mean, I love it, it's my baby, but I would obviously love to save up and build a proper gaming PC. But you know, maybe someday, maybe someday. But the gaming laptop kind of just suits my lifestyle because I like to be like downstairs in the room with my partner when I'm playing The Sims, and like he's playing PlayStation, and we can still like chat and stuff like that. So I just come up to this room or spare bedroom to film for the videos because he has it set up for working from home, so there's already a desk and all that jazz, you know. But generally when I play The Sims, I'm downstairs on my couch basically. But yeah, I would like to get a PC, a gaming PC. But my game, I think, runs fine with like the max, over the max recommended. Like the game does run quite well on this laptop, I have to say. But you know, obviously I'd like people, if they wanted to download the save file, that they had the choice. I mean, obviously you could download the one with all the Sims and just delete them, but I don't know, for handiness. But I could do like a 80 population, 150, 200, yada yada, you know, I could do that kind of thing. God, I just like missed the whole build because I'm just like rambling on. I just love all this plant decor that I'm doing here. It's just, I use those, they came with seasons, like little leaves, the autumn leaves that I just like place under everything. They're just like all over the build. And then of course, the pumpkins. This house should just be called the pumpkin patch. That's actually something I'm like annoyed about. Why can't we grow pumpkins in The Sims 4? Because we could in 3. I can't remember far enough back to whether we could in 2. I was only a child playing The Sims 2. I don't really remember much. I loved it, but I don't remember much. But yeah, I mean, we can carve pumpkins, so yeah, why can't we grow pumpkins? I'd love, that would have been something I would have really liked to add into this build, as like a pumpkin patch. And I was like, I could get the ones that are like debug, that come along with the pumpkin. They're like debug items from the pumpkin carving station. And I could have put them like to make a fake pumpkin patch, but I actually don't know how they work. I did put a few of them actually in the interior of this build, but I actually don't know if they even appear in gameplay, or if they just, I don't know. Anyway, who knows? I was using a lot of the mushrooms as well, debug items from Realm of Magic, because I thought, you know, that really fit in with the whole herbalism vibe that we got going here. The place is just very overgrown, but I have to say I really am just in love with this exterior. All the autumnal colours, and just, it's so like overgrown, higgledy-piggledy kind of all over the place, but it just works. I think the front, it just, I really like it. I think it definitely describes a personality. I mean, the interior isn't really as impressive as the exterior, but that was kind of what I was going for with this build. You know, I just wanted this really cool garden that basically she's going to spend most of her time out in the garden anyway, so that's, yeah, whatever. Let me know if you'd like to see a Create a Sim video of making this witch, because I actually, like, I kind of have images in my head, but I don't know whether she'd be old, young, or like, you know, because if you go to build a witch and Create a Sim, you automatically think of like the big crooked nose and the like raggedy clothes, but I'm thinking more of like a wholesome kind of witch, you know, and I would probably dress her in the autumnal colours to match the house. I don't know. Yeah, I just really had a lot of fun doing this build, and I used items that I don't use too often as well, which was fun, like the sunflowers, and I don't know why I don't use them because they are amazing, but I just never really think to put them in, but they just obviously matched this build so well. It had to be done. And again, like, the stained glass windows are just some of the most amazing windows we've gotten in this game, and I don't use them enough. I really should, because they're just amazing. And of course, I use a lot of the brambles up the side of the wall. I use them all the time, so that's nothing new. Would it be one of my builds without ivy going up the side of the build? Probably not. Who knows? But yeah, I'm currently watching the interior of the house, but there's been a few pauses, so I don't actually know if it lines up with what I'm saying on what you're watching. I'll try to edit it to make sense. But basically, yeah, the interior, it's quite simple. Well, it's not simple. I mean, there is a lot going on. but there's also not a lot going on. It's not a very typical layout, like there's not really a proper living room, if you want to call it that. I kind of just put this corner couch in where I have like a kind of bay window and a bookshelf, but then the rest of the space, there is like a fireplace. I put that cool Realm of Magic fireplace, and then the rest of the space is kind of more, there's not really, there's a lot going on, but it's not really. I put a desk and I use a lot of the Realm of Magic, like the apothecary table. Am I saying that word right? I don't know. The pumpkin carving station, all that kind of stuff. And I decided to put the candle making in because I thought that was kind of a hobby that she might be interested in. And obviously I put the bees and stuff at the back so she could collect the beeswax from that and make her candles. And originally I was going to put an easel in, but then I decided against it, I think. See, now I'm forgetting. But I do put a rocking chair. The big thing is I put a rocking chair in front of the fire because I thought she would sit there and knit and think about things. And the kitchen I was actually struggling with a little bit in this build because it's a small space and I'm not great at doing small kitchens, but I think it turned out okay. I mean, the idea of this house is only for one sim, so it's not too bad, but I was obviously trying to make sure it was still functional as a home, which I think it is. So there is not a whole heap of things in this kitchen. Basically it has a cooker, a fridge, a sink, and I think I gave her a coffee maker. Yes, I gave her a coffee maker, and that's the height of it. I was going to give her a microwave, but I didn't have enough counter space because you need a counter to actually cook on. The Sims are stupid and they won't go anywhere else. In terms of her bedroom, I did want to give her a double bed, but I didn't make the space big enough. And I was contemplating actually trying to change it up, but I had done so much work on the exterior, and the thought of moving it out and then moving everything else along with it, like I would have only needed one extra tile to make it fit, but I just didn't want to ruin everything that I had done. But it's fine, she has a single bed. I mean, if you download this you can edit it till your heart's content. But yeah, she has a single bed and she just has everything she needs in here. It's not particularly fancy. As I said, the exterior of this house is really where it's at. The interior, she basically just eats and sleeps and spends most of her time in her garden. That's the idea. Again, with the toilet, it's very simple. I just put the essentials in. I don't even think I did much clutter in the toilet because I didn't really have much space and I had spent so much time doing clutter everywhere else. Really, this house is just full of plants. That's the idea. She is into her herbalism, gardening, she makes potions, and that's her life, basically. So in terms of clutter, it is mainly plants in this house. And then I start putting a load of the pumpkins in around the fireplace, which is probably a fire hazard, but everything's a fire hazard in The Sims, so you know, you can move it if you want. But I just load a load of the pumpkins around, and I ended up finding a lot of items that I hadn't used before from seasons. And I say find, I suppose I knew they were there, but I had never really properly looked at them, but they were just kind of perfect for this build, like what's the word? The cornucopia, that's it. It's just perfect for this build. It's like the wicker basket full of harvestables. Really suited this build, and I've never used that item before. so that was fun to use. Again, I used a lot of the leaf items from Seasons, and I actually used some of the wreaths that come with that. There's like a kind of autumn coloured one that really suits, and then I managed to work eco lifestyle into this build. I believe some of the wall decor are like autumn colours, the leaves that came with it. So of course I put eco lifestyle into this build because I put it into every build that I do. Yeah, can't go a build without eco lifestyle. But yeah, there's a lot of clutter in this house. As I said, mainly plants, but I just wanted it to look really, really lived in and very all over the place. You know, I suppose she probably is like an older witch, and she just leaves her items that she makes potions with all about the place, because she spends most of her time outside, so she doesn't really care what the inside of her house looks like too much. Plus she's a witch, so she can probably learn the spells to clean. I don't even know what they're called. I haven't actually played gameplay of Realm of Magic too much, and it's something I do want to do. Maybe I'll actually play in this build. But whatever the spell is to clean your house, Scubaroo or something like that, I don't know. So she can do that, so it doesn't really matter. She's not big into cleaning because she does not need to. And yeah, I use the Realm of Magic bathroom furniture in this build, and it kind of looks a bit ridiculous. It's a bit fancy. Like it's kind of like gold, and so there's lots of like embellishments on the items, but it was either that or the vampire's bathroom furniture, and because the vampire's ones look sort of older, more run down, but they're also kind of spooky looking, and I didn't want, as I said, she's a good witch. I didn't want this house to look like too creepy or anything like that, and the vampire's bathroom furniture just is a bit more gothic than what I wanted for this build. Oh, and I also realised that she probably has a cat, so late in this build I decided to put cat furniture in, because when I create the sim she's definitely going to have a cat, probably a black cat. Although that's more like a spooky witch has a black cat. I don't know what type of cat I'll give her. I'll give her a cat anyway. So I decided to put the cat items in. But yeah, that is pretty much this build. I will leave you with the screenshots. As I said, I'm really excited for the month of October. I have got lots of autumn and Halloween spooky themed builds planned. This is the first one. It's not very spooky, but it is definitely witchy and autumnal. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please give a like if you liked it. Drop a comment, let me know what you think, and also if you would like to see me do the create a sim video for the witch for this house. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.